Welcome to Iron Strengthens Iron. I am Michael E. Hadaway. You know, most men do not lose self-trust in some kind of massive, dramatic failure. It doesn't happen in a giant wreck. It happens through a dozen small, completely private exceptions. It's skipping the 5-minute walk you promised yourself you'd take after dinner. Or it's hitting the snooze button 3 times on Tuesday morning after you explicitly said the night before, "I'm getting up on the first alarm." We think those moments are free because nobody else is in the room. But they aren't free. There is a deep, painful tension here. A man can sound incredibly disciplined when he's talking to his buddies, or posturing online, or standing in public. He can talk about his vision. But in the quiet hours, he is steadily teaching his own nervous system that his word doesn't actually count. And that split? It always shows up eventually. It shows up as drift. It shows up as this low-grade, persistent shame you can't quite shake, and a life that suddenly feels much harder to steer because you don't even believe the guy at the wheel. Look, let's make a very concrete contrast here between stated values and practiced values. Saying, "I value health," or "I value order and strength," that means absolutely nothing if the actual daily practiced pattern is, "I'll start tomorrow." Integrity is not the intensity of your promise. It's not how loud you declare your intentions. It is the consistency of your return. I've sat with so many men who are exhausted from making grand, sweeping promises to themselves, only to break them by lunch. I've been that man myself, thinking, just this once won't hurt, nobody's looking. But you are looking. Your brain is keeping score. Let's reframe integrity in very plain, unadorned words. It is not moral perfection. It's not about being some stainless, flawless saint. It's simply alignment. It's the basic question of whether your actions and your words still shake hands at the end of the day. Marcus Aurelius put this so clearly in his journal. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." He wasn't talking about writing a philosophy paper. He was talking about practiced evidence. And here is the surprise that most men miss. Those small compromises we make, they are not small to your nervous system. Every single unkept promise, no matter how tiny, teaches your brain that your own standards are negotiable. It creates a cognitive habit. The next time you face a hard choice, your brain immediately goes to work producing an excuse because you've trained it to do exactly that. If I tell myself I am going to do one honest, simple thing today, and then I actually physically do it, trust grows. If I keep renegotiating, trust thins out. The size of the task doesn't matter. What matters is that you return to the practice without telling yourself a story to justify why you left. So here is the work for this week. Do not try to fix 10 things. Pick one concrete gap to close. Just one. Maybe it's that morning practice you've been skipping. Maybe it's the 15 minutes you spend scrolling in bed when you know you should be sleeping. Maybe it's an ignored phone call or a neglected 10-minute window for prayer or journaling. Keep the action so small that it can survive your own resistance. Remember, 0 breaks the practice. 3 minutes maintains it. The goal here isn't to feel impressive or heroic. It is to restore the chain between your intention and your actual physical action. It is incredibly tempting to protect our egos with elaborate explanations about why we slipped up. We love apology theater. We love explaining why we're tired or why the week was hard. Drop the story. Just return to the practice. If you missed a day, start the next day without the drama of an apology. Share this episode with a man who needs to hear it, and subscribe so this work finds you every single week. And as you go into your day, ask yourself this one hard question. Where have I been making promises to myself that I keep asking my future self to pay for? All right, let's get to work.